Unofficial Star Wars Day brings long-awaited news about the upcoming Blu-rays. It's Tuesday, May 10th, and you'll hear about that story and more this week in Star Wars. This week in Star Wars is your source for new and noteworthy developments from the galaxy far, far away. I'm your host, Matt Fox, and now, this week's lead story. Last Wednesday was May the 4th, a date which is quickly being recognized by many as the unofficial Star Wars Day. It also marked the day on which Lucasfilm announced details about the upcoming 10-disc edition Blu-ray set of the complete saga. Announced last August at Star Wars Celebration 5 in Orlando, we now have details as to what will be contained in the promised 30 hours of bonus features. Discs 1 through 6 correspond with episodes 1 through 6 and will feature 2 audio commentary tracks. The audio commentary tracks featured on the original DVD release of each film, as well as a new audio track, which is cobbled together from archival footage and previous commentaries by the stars and production team of each of the 6 films. Discs 7 and 8 deal respectively with the prequel and original trilogies and contain the promised deleted scenes as well as extended and alternate takes. Additionally, a great amount of concept and background information will be available for each of the films on these discs. The final disc contains a number of documentaries to this date not available on DVD. This includes a 2007 documentary entitled Star Warriors, detailing the exploits of the 501st Legion. Conversation with the Masters, Empire Strikes Back 30 years later, is a 2010 documentary featuring interviews with George Lucas, director Irvin Kershner, and producer Lawrence Kasdan and composer John Williams. Star Wars Spoofs is an entirely new documentary featuring footage from Family Guy, Simpsons, How I Met Your Mother, and other pop culture homages to the Star Wars trilogy. Also included are Anatomy of a Dewback, the 1997 documentary from the VHS releases, as well as Star Wars Tech, the 2007 documentary dealing with the plausibility of Star Wars' futuristic space technology with modern-day technology as we understand it on 21st century Earth. Finally, the 3 documentaries which accompanied the release of the 3 original films, which include 1977's Making of Star Wars, 1980's The Empire Strikes Back SPFX, and 1983's Classic Creatures Return of the Jedi, are included on this disc and are available on home video for the first time in many, many years. Visitors to maythefourth.starwars.com were also treated to glimpses of the box art for all 3 of the upcoming editions, one for the original trilogy, one for the prequel trilogy, and one for all 6 films, as well as a teaser trailer for the Blu-rays. The discs are available for pre-order now on Amazon.com and will be released on September the 16th. This week's collecting news: Target has 3 new vintage-style 3-packs available, and they have been spotted across the country, although not necessarily always on shelves. The packs include, respectively, a Stormtrooper Darth Vader and Death Squad Commander, 2-1B Hoth Princess Leia and a Hoth Trooper, and finally, Luke in his X-Wing costume, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Han Solo. The packs retail for $19.99 each and are being sold individually this time as opposed to a long 3-pack package. And if you are unable to find it on yourselves, I encourage you to use the Target DPCI number 087060302, and you may be lucky enough to have one pulled from the back of the store. No word if there is an official street date or planned promotion for the release of these figures sometime down the road, but there has to be some point in time at which Target plans to put new Star Wars product on the shelves. Sandtroopers.com is at it again. They have images of the upcoming and up till now only rumored B-Wing fighter. The photos show that this is another vintage-style packaging throwback release, and also indicates that it appears to be a Kmart exclusive. Obviously, there's nothing official about this release yet, and everything about it is up in the air, but perhaps we are likely to learn more at the upcoming San Diego Comic-Con, which will take place in July. More immediately, Sideshow Collectibles will be putting up for pre-order a Figrin Dan and the Modal Nodes 1/6 scale figure this Thursday, May 12th. He is priced at the now almost standard $99, and details about him are available at sideshowtoy.com. A couple of stories about the allegedly upcoming Star Wars The Old Republic massively multiplayer online role-playing game. I say allegedly upcoming advisedly, based upon a report in think.co.uk, which claims that BioWare may be compelled to delay the title again, this time into 2012. If this report proves true, it will no doubt be a major disappointment to the legions of Star Wars video game fans who have been eagerly anticipating this title for some time, and which was expected to be released sometime around now. But it will probably be an even bigger disappointment to the EA and BioWare executives when considering a report in videogamer.com this week, which says that development costs for the game will likely exceed $80 million. Under the terms of their contract with Lucasfilm, EA is required to eat all of the R&D and development costs for the game, as well as marketing and production costs. However, the article breaks down the numbers and seems to indicate that even with these costs, a relatively successful subscriber base after the launch of the game will generate several $1,000,000 a month in operating profit. And again, that's assuming the game is ever released. In the meantime, as you await The Old Republic to be released, you can catch up on your summer reading. Random House and Lucasfilm announced on May 10th that all Star Wars fiction titles under the Del Rey and Bantam imprints will be available on ebook format as of June 28th. This launch will feature over 100 Star Wars titles, and each will include special bonus features, including an updated timeline of all the novels, an introduction to the 6 Star Wars eras, and excerpts from some of the more popular Star Wars novels over the past 30 years. The announcement, which is available on StarWars.com, makes no mention specifically for what readers the titles will be available, but one can hope that they're available as widely as possible. Lastly this week, the 2011 Star Wars Fan Movie Challenge is once again underway. The contest, held in conjunction with Spike TV, allows aspiring George Lucases to submit their creations for evaluation. Some will be selected to air on Spike TV, and one lucky winner will be selected by George Lucas himself as the George Lucas Select Award winner for this year. Details are available on StarWars.com as well as at Atom.com. So, what do we think about the Blu-ray releases now that they're announced? As I'd say many times on this podcast, I had no idea what to expect. As much Star Wars material as there is out there, 30 hours to me seemed like a lot of time. First off, I was really happy to see that there's a disc that seems to be dedicated to collecting the old documentaries. I remember all of those TV specials from the late 70s and early 80s, and I'm glad we're finally going to have access to them in a completely legal manner. But I was equally disappointed to see that there are none of the bonus feature documentaries that we got on the existing DVD editions. Also, there's the original Making of the Trilogy documentary, From Star Wars to Jedi, from the 80s, which was available on home video at one time. I would have thought that would be included. And I was hoping for a new documentary covering the entire saga, but it does not appear that we're going to have one of those. And while I am a little disappointed that they didn't create a new audio commentary for each film, at least they tried to by cobbling together old materials. In the end, though, the most important thing is that we're going to have the films in high def, and that's pretty cool. And that was This Week in Star Wars. Join us again next week for more news, notes, and developments from the galaxy far, far away. Visit our website, www.thisweekinstarwars.com, or if you're in a hurry, www.twisw.com. There you can find past episodes, links to some of the stories we discussed, as well as photo galleries and other interesting Star Wars-related tidbits. You can also find links to the other realms of the This Week in Star Wars media empire, including our breaking news Twitter feed, our Facebook page, as well as links to email addresses where you can contact the show. If you have questions or comments or news suggestions, we encourage you to contact us at host@thisweekinstarwars.com. Help us grow the community. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a positive review at iTunes. You've been listening to This Week in Star Wars. We troll the web so you don't have to.
Lucasfilm. All other trademarks are property of their respective trademark owners. This Week in Star Wars is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. More information, links to stories presented, past episodes, and contact information are available at www.thisweekinstarwars.com.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.